Alright, I have literally just looked at this on my phone and I said I needed to make a video about it because this is not okay. Like this are concentration camp vibes 100%. What in the fuck is the government actually trying to do to people now? Because like the only thing that I can just say is that first it's going to be the immigrants and then it's going to be American citizens that are in these fucking human warehouse detention centers as they want to call them. uh I'm calling them concentration camps because this is not okay. Republicans are objecting to ICE human warehouses. Wow. I guess someone to the government still has some sort of whole soul for the welfare of human beings, but not on behalf of immigrants. The real victims, it turns out, are the people outside the detention center gates. Really? You mean the people that aren't locked up are the real victims? Fucking shit, man. Oh, also, I'm sorry. This is an article by from Slate, and it came out yesterday. Um, and it is by Jim Newell. Uh, with great fanfare, last summer, House and Senate Republicans approved a $45 billion to expand immigration and customs enforcement detention capacity as part of their signature catch-up bill. Uh, signature catch-all bill. I feel like when it says catch all, I think it doesn't just mean the immigrants. I think it also means citizens. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act, the exorbitant amount, one of many line items in the bill's historic ramp up of immigration enforcement funding, was considered an easy part of the bill to pass. Republicans didn't fight over it. Democrats still angsty after the 2024 election, about looking soft on immigration, didn't call much attention to it. This is another one. Okay, this one is like a little bit better. Also from the USA Today. Just pause. All right, a Trump administration plan to rapidly expand immigration detention sites has hit a snag. Many residents don't like the idea of local warehouses being converted into deportation detention centers. No shit. You want to know who else did this shit? The fucking Nazis. Immigration and Custom Enforcement has produced, and I don't want to hear shit. Well, it doesn't have gas chambers on it, so it's not fucking. This is fucking Nazi shit. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has purchased, toured, and tried to buy at least a dozen commercial buildings in December in states including Texas, Mississippi, New York, and Oregon. USA Today found court records and other disclosures show sales ranging from tens of millions more than $100 million per warehouse. Yet American citizens are starving in their houses because they don't have enough food to eat because food is so fucking high. But in some cases, public outrage has led deals to collapse as local politicians from both parties have sided with concerned residents in Oklahoma City after several protests and a packed city council meeting. A company that had planned to sell its warehouse to ICE backed out of the deal, a move cheered by Republican Mayor David Holt and Democrat led Salt Lake City A company vowed not to sell warehouses that was being scouted by ICE for a 7,500 bed detention center. And I'm going to go ahead and say that probably just because it says 7,500 beds does not mean that it's adequate spacing for 7,500 people that don't want to be in there. ICE did not respond to specific questions about the buildings, but defended the administration's effort to ramp up its detention capacity. I mean, at this rate, I would just rather them, like, if they like identify, like, how long does it take to identify, to run a search through a database of a person and see if they're an American citizen and see if they have any type of criminal record. I mean, jobs do this all the time. You apply for a job, they run a background check on you. It doesn't take that long. It really doesn't. I would just honestly just rather them send the people out than keep them in these inhumane centers. This is scary shit. ICE did not respond to specific questions about the building, but defended the administration's effort to ramp up its detention capacity. These will not be warehouses. They will be very well-structured detention facilities meeting our regular detention standards. An ICE spokesperson said in an email to USA Today, adding, "It should not come as news that ICE will be making arrests in states across the U.S. and is actively working to expand detention space." Opponents of the plans have included politicians who support immigration enforcement. Like, I feel like immigration enforcement is an important thing for a country to have, and it is something that a country needs to be able to thrive. But putting them in concentration camps, no. And I'm just gonna call these places concentration camps for now on, because this is how this shit gets started. On February 4, Republican U.S. Senator Rogan Wicker of Mississippi urged ICE not to move forward with plans to convert warehouses in the town of Byhalia into a facility that would hold more than 8,500 detainees. While I support the enforcement of immigration law, right to express my opposition to this acquisition and the proposed detention center, Wicker wrote in a letter to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, adding that such a facility would put significant strain on local resources. This too. So now, for local resources are already strained because of AI. Because of AI data centers. AI data centers suck up so much energy and water. But now they're going to have this shit going in cities, and that's going to make things even more strained. Meanwhile, residents have staged large protests, and some local and state officials drafted ordinance and legislation seeking to block the detention centers. Advocates and an elected official have raised concerns that the buildings were intended to house commercial cargo, not people. Exactly. People are not cargo. And cited reports of poor conditions at other ICE facilities constructed in the last year. America is just heading on like a straight railway to being sued for violating human rights. Because people are breaking the law if they come here illegally, but those people still have basic human rights. I'm not talking about citizenship rights that American citizens get, and all that. That's another thing too. And they're now going after people that have that were not born in America, who have American citizenship. They're now running their to see how they got here and to see if it was proper or not, to see if they broke the law before they applied for citizenship. This is a fucked situation. Shit. Like Prime, but with human beings. And President and Donald and President Donald Trump's second term of office, the number of ICE detention facilities as well as the number of people being held inside of them has exploded. There are 107 detention centers holding immigrants in January 25. By the end of the year, that number had roughly doubled to 212, according to ICE data. These sites include privately run. They're privately run. Who the fuck knows what's going on in there? Privately run, dedicated immigration detention centers, temporary tent facilities, and military bases, county jails, and state prisons. Well, 2 or 3 of these things can hold people. This is not a spot to hold people. This is a spot where people go to work, but this is not a thing where you hold people. The shift to repurposing large commercial spaces to warehouse detainees brought the Trump administration aggressive push to maximize deportations. But okay, if you need all this shit, right? You need warehouses to deport all these people, but they're not up to specs for holding a human being in. Then when you deport these people can go to their government and they can sue the shit out of you for violating their human rights. Especially all the children that get mixed up in this shit. Like, children have no say in where they are in the world. They're just there. They're just there because their parents bring them there. Look, imagine holding children in a place like this that's not meant to hold a person. And children have to face the harsh reality of their basic human rights being violated in horrible places like this. I mean, just the amount of just putting children with criminals, like the actual gang members, the rapists, the murderers, the ones that try and smuggle drugs into the country. You're gonna put children with them too? That's fucking sick. The shift to repurposing large commercial spaces to house detainees highlights the Trump administration's aggressive push to maximize deportations, said Naina Gupta. I hope I said that right. A policy director at the American Immigration Council. Building a new facility with hard walls takes a lot of time, but doesn't move as quickly, she's told USA Today. Purchasing existing facilities that are easier to stand up in the way to overcome delays and barriers. The effects, Gupta noted, seem to align with comments ICE acting director told Todd Loines made last year at the Border Security Expo in Arizona. We need to get better at treating this like a business. That's the same thing that the Nazis did. They treated it like a business. I mean, I guess you kind of do, but if you're just going to have a thing just to traffic people, you're just going to have a business just to fucking traffic people and children. That's just disgusting. Lloyd said at the event, adding that he wanted to see a deportation process like Amazon Prime but with human beings. It's a sick fuck, man. Some of the proposed warehouses are planned to hold more than 8,000 undocumented immigrants at a time. The largest ICE detention center, now in Operation Camp East Montana, has a capacity of 5,000 beds and has been plagued by reports of poor conditions. The tent camp at Fort Bliss Army Base in Texas was cited for 60 violations by ICE inspector in September. A report from the American Civil Liberties Union, based on dozens of interviews, found patterns of physical and sexual abuse, medical neglect, and insufficient food. They're not going to give a shit about these people. They're just not. Like, okay, people that are in prison, yeah, prison is tight, prison is compact, you don't have much room to go, but prisoners are still guaranteed food. The physical and sexual abuse, I'm pretty sure there's some, I'm pretty sure that happens a lot in prison, but also there is some type of way to separate those people. But these people, they don't fucking care about. They're not going to do that. They have been showing this whole time that they don't care about people. Whether it's them out on the street trying to look for people or them inside of their concentration camps. The Department of Homeland Security denied the allegations of abuse in the report and maintained that all detainees are given proper due process. This Texas facility has most recently come under scrutiny after the death of a Cuban immigrant was ruled a homicide in January. ICE officials had said to them, Geraldo Lucas Campos died after experiencing medical distress. Yeah, getting shot and beat does cause medical distress. Proposed ICE facilities galvanize communities. Word of the proposed facilities spread, so has furor among local residents. In Chester, a town in New York, Hudson Valley, where Trump won a majority of votes in 2024, hundreds of people braved freezing temperatures to protest as a proposed plan by the Department of Homeland Security acquired and convert a warehouse into an ICE detention center. Residents held signs reading "ICE equal terror" and "I'm not mad at you." A resident reference to the last words by Renee Nicole Good before she was shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis in January. I am so sorry that person had to lose their life over this, what has just become the stupidity that America is bringing down on itself. A recent Chester Village board meeting had to be moved from its usual location to a senior center because 600 people showed up to decry the proposed facility. As Washington County, Maryland, where Trump won 60% of the vote in 2024, residents protested January 20 after DHS brought a warehouse for more than $102 million. Nancy Evans, 80, who lives in the Williamsport area, says she opposes the ICE facilities because the agency is arresting people they shouldn't be. There's been a lot of that. There's been a lot of them arresting people that they shouldn't be. They're trying to find every little reason they can to take citizenship away from people that were not born in America. I mean, it's just become horrible. The peace that America has claimed to give people is no longer. And there's just no reason why a citizen should be worried about being arrested and detained because they are suspected to not be a citizen. You can literally, like, they have databases. You can literally just go and look the shit up. But instead they go and, I don't know, using way too much force, citing recent operations in Minneapolis. We don't want it, Evans told the Herald Mail, part of the USA Today network. In Surprise, Arizona, a suburb outside Phoenix, had more than 1,000 people show up to rally January 1st after DHS bought a 418 square foot warehouse. An ICE facility in Surprise would be a strain on our city. Carell Pennell, a local resident at Arizona, told Arizona Republic, part of the USA Today network. Similar protests have been held in Orlando, Florida, Salt Lake City, and Social Circle, Georgia. Can local or state officials block ICE detention? This is what I have been wondering. The governor in LA put up or made a law to like block it or something like that, because it's just fucking destroying their city. Facing opposition to the detention sites, local officials say they have limited power to stop the federal government from acquiring land and buildings, especially from private owners. Officials in Surprise where ICE bought a warehouse from a private company for $70 million in cash, said there's not much they can do because federal projects are not subject to local regulation like zoning. This leaves us completely helpless, Chris Judd, a council member in Surprise, told Arizona Republic, part of USA Today. It's looking like it's out of our hands. In Orlando, where ICE have repeatedly visited a 440,000 square foot warehouse, a Democrat mayor, Buddy Dyer, said in a statement that the city tried to find a path to prevent an ICE detention facility from opening and found none. The city is unable to take action to limit or regulate any activity in the federal government, Dyer said. Other communities, meanwhile, are trying to implement ordinance and other regulations to stop ICE detention centers from opening in their communities. though it remains unclear whether such efforts will be successful. In El Paso, Texas, the nonpartisan city council unanimously approved an action plan in February amid exploring ways to block any future detention centers, including the establishment of the uh, moratorium on ICE facilities. That's Texas, though. Texas can like separate from the U.S. if it wants to, but like other states don't have that much ability to block what the federal government does. States are also taking action. A bill banning ICE centers in New Mexico was passed by the state's Democrat led legislation on February 3rd and is expected to be signed into law by Governor Mitchell Lujan Grisham. Similar bills have been introduced in Delaware, New York, and Massachusetts. This is good. I'm happy that local governments want to do this state governments want to do this to block this from happening because, I mean, once you go and start torturing people, and yeah, they're not sitting there beating them, torturing them while they're being held, but torturing people in a way from like having them confined in a huge place with a lot of people around them. I mean, that's something that I would consider torture. It's like, how do you not foresee the future and you being sued uh by these people for what you have done to them when you know it's against the law to abuse people like this? And that, and also all of the headlines that I've been reading and articles I've been reading on like my own, where they're finding that ICE agents aren't even like properly trained, and it's like some of them are just there so they can do violence to people. It's so gross. Uh, some private sellers have backed out amid public pressure. Though local government appears to have limited power to prevent ICE detention facilities from opening, protesters in offices have found a winning formula pressuring private landowners. In Salt Lake City, rumors about the potential ICE detention facilities sparked a protest outside the warehouse that was reportedly being toured by Homeland Security officials. On January 24th, a family owned uh, Richie group released a statement saying the company and its investigators have no plans to sell or lease the property in question to the federal government. Uh, an announcement that was welcomed by residents and local leaders. Okay, I'm just gonna like link this. You guys can read it if you want to. Um, and just I like, this is just so fucking. I'm gonna link both. One of them, you do need the subscription, the slate. You're gonna need this subscription for it. I don't know, because I have one, so I'm not sure if you need a subscription for the USA Today. And the story is by Christopher Can. Thanks for watching.